I want to talk about a concept that Neville Goddard hinted in his book. I think it was a lecture, I guess, Thinking Fourth Dimensionally, where he talked about our fourth dimensional self or our higher dimensional self. We all know that there is a spirituality within us in this body. This body can only perceive three dimensions. So we are bound by this reality that we see and observe and can feel with our five senses. But there is an aspect of us that transcends this reality. It is formless spirit, soul, whatever you want to name it. And this higher dimensional being, what Neville talks about is when we go to sleep, this higher dimensional being is out of our body, and it is doing the work that the feelings emotions that the thoughts that we take into sleep. This dimensional being goes out of us, higher dimensional being, and does the work for our next days to come. Whatever we thought and felt and took it to sleep, higher dimensional being then forms our reality according to the state of being that we took to sleep. And this higher dimensional being, we all notice that in dreams we are almost everywhere. One moment you're in your home, the other moment you will be standing in front of Eiffel Tower in France, out of nowhere, in our dreams. I mean, we all know that in dreams we think that we have kind of spent a whole lifetime there, but it has only been like 30 minutes of sleep, and we've been to so many places so fast. So this concept of higher dimensional being is from this perspective by Neville Goddard, that this higher dimensional being is timeless, is formless. Excuse me. It has no it is not bounded by this three-dimensional reality. So the whole point that I'm trying to make is for us to know that we are not bounded by these circumstances or this body or what we see around us. We have a higher connection to something greater than us that we think we are. So this higher dimensional being can get you things that you cannot think are possible from this three-dimensional version of you. This is why Neville Goddard put so much emphasis on going into a state akin to sleep and then imagining your scene so that you can take that feeling into sleep with you. The whole point of it is for you to convey what you want to your fourth dimensional self or your higher dimensional self. It's not even fourth dimensional, it's higher than that. I was listening to a podcast by Aubrey. I'm not sure if you guys know him, but it's a phenomenal podcast. And there he has a guest. He remembers his past lives, and he remembers higher dimensions from his past experiences. I know it's esoteric knowledge, but when you listen to him, he kind of breaks down that we are higher dimensional beings. We are in three dimensions, four dimensions, 5, 6, 7, up to 9. Ninth dimension is enlightenment, God, all that is, where you know everything and everyone and all that is. But three dimension is via individualization of that higher aspect, from 8th dimension to 7 to 6 to 5 to 4 and all the way to 3 dimension. And this is our human self experiencing life here. But we have connection to all those higher dimensions of ourselves that can do anything, be anything, have anything. So this journey in this life is kind of us trying to realize our higher selves and go all the way to enlightenment. So what I'm trying to get it to the point is this: when when you imagine, when you want to manifest something, do not think from your three-dimensional self. Transcend it, go beyond it, and think from your higher self. What it does is it instantly separates you from this limited, this human existence where you feel only limitations, where you see only limitations. You're like, oh, I can't have this because I'm just a human being. How the hell I'm gonna get that much money? Or how can I have something so outreach, so far, how so far from me, right? But when you think from your higher self, your fourth dimensional self, or your infinite self, it means nothing. Anything in this world means nothing. It's so small. An SP is just one aspect, just one desire. It's so small for your high dimensional self to give you to you. Health, wealth, love, adventure, everything. It's such a small thing for your higher dimensional self. And Neville says that in fourth dimension, time is infinite. There is no, basically everything is happening now, right now, this very moment. So all versions of you, a version of you who has money, a lot of money exists in fourth dimension right now. A version of you who has perfect health exists right now. A version of you who is dead is existing there. A version of you who is a woman, if you're a man, a version of you who's a woman is existing in the fourth dimension. And a woman who's a woman right now, a male version of you exists in the fourth dimension. A king, a queen version of you exists right now. So when you think about your fourth dimensional self, it has everything. It has literally access to everything. It is just your choice in the third dimension that you convey to your fourth dimensional self, that then aligns to that part of creation or that part of reality, and then you live that reality. So the point I'm trying to make in this video is to stop thinking from the point of view of the limited three-dimensional self, because then you free yourself, kind of. Then all possibilities are equally possible, and then when you affirm, you feel that conviction that this affirmation is literally true in the higher dimension. It might not be here, but it is literally true in a higher dimension. You have what you want. When you say, I am a millionaire, or I am loved, you are, literally. It's a literal fact in the higher dimension. It might not be here, but it is. And when you affirm like that, when you imagine like that, when you think like that, the you feel free, and things occur fast in your reality. Then your reality shifts faster because you are detaching from what is in this three-dimensional self, right? You kind of separate yourself from these circumstances, these limitations, and then you go higher. You go one step higher. So you transcend what is and go higher. And when you go higher, there is a very little amount of resistance. You go to the knowing that I have what I want. It's just a matter of shifting to that reality. It's just a matter of conveying my message to my higher dimensional self that I want this. What is this three-dimensional reality? It is good, but I want to experience this. And so you carry that mood, that state of being into sleep with you, and your four-dimensional self gets to work, and it will get it done. So the burden of creation or manifestation is all off of your shoulders. You just enjoy the ride, enjoy the journey, and that's the whole point of, I guess, of all the spiritual teachers will talk about. Some will say inner being, some will say spirit, some will say your high dimensional self, others will say God. But it is all the same thing. It is the part of you that is higher than what you are, what you think you are. So if you access that part of you, and if you affirm from that part of you, if you imagine from that part of you, you will feel kind of liberation, freedom, and joy in your life, and then things will shift much faster for you. 3D will is weak But 4D will is much higher, and fifth dimensional will is much higher, and God's will, that is the final will, that is just love, is the highest form of will to get things done, to make things happen, to manifest things, to create. So we want to cultivate this knowing that we can use the higher versions of us, higher dimensional self of us, to manifest things, or to just feel that freedom within, that everything is right now in my possession, and I just have to choose. I just have to choose and align with it, and it will be in the third dimension. It will translate from higher dimensions all the way to me. All I have to do is just choose and convey it to my inner being, my higher self, and it'll be. So I know this video was kind of all everywhere, all over the place, but it's a concept that I personally am starting to fall in love with. I love the idea of this freedom, of this higher dimension, that I have access to, from third dimension to all the way to the divine. So I can reach anywhere. I just have to reach for that feeling, that state of being, and I will have it. So this is it for this video. Until next time, bye bye.